Supercoders! Welcome back to day 2 of our Supercoders website maker. If you haven't already seen video 1 where we talk about an intro to HTML, be sure to go back and watch this video. This is the second video, so we've already started doing some work, and today we're going to be doing an intro to CSS. So for those of you who don't remember, CSS is the pretty part of the website. That's what adds the colors, the designs, the fancy fonts, the font color, the font size, all of those small things that make a website really pop is what CSS does. So let's look at what our website looks like right now. Here's what our website looks like. While it has a lot of important information in it, it's kind of bland, just black and white for the most part. So the way we make it look like more fancy is through CSS. So CSS has different attributes that you can utilize in order to help make your website look fancier. Let's go through just a few of them. First, we have border style, and that creates, just in the name, a border. And we have different options that we can add on the other side. We have dotted, dash, solid, double, and groove. So let's try to implement that right now. So the way that we implement an attribute is first we have to figure out which part of our website, so to the header, the text, do we want to implement. So let's look at our first header. Now, this is where the class name comes in. Well, we can just say header, so we can go H1, and then we open the parentheses, and we can say border style dotted, and then let's see, we see the border pop up right here. We can also do it by class name. Well, this was called title, so we're going to do dot title, so dot class name, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take it out right here, take this out, and now I'm going to try a different one. Let's try groove. And boom, here we go. So we can do it two ways. We can do it with the name of the overall thing, like header, or we can do it with the class name. So what's the difference between doing it with the class name versus doing it with the overall thing? Well, let's see. With paragraph, we use paragraph a lot on our website. But let's say we just want to change the all about me paragraph. So let's go back to what we had already talked about with borders. So I'm going to do just P, right? And we're going to do border style. Someone pick a border style for me. Let's do border style solid. Keep it nice and simple. That goes for all of the text, right? Every single paragraph text that we have has a border style solid. But I don't want that for everyone. I just want it for all about me. So I'm going to change this to our class name. So this is going to be all about me paragraph. And I'm going to go check in my HTML that that is the correct class name. And it is, because it's showing up right there. So that's how we can specify which one we want to title it for. And that comes in handy later on whenever we're trying to specify, maybe we want one part to be pink and one part to be blue. That's where class names come in handy. But let's go back over here. We used a div class over here called fun facts container. Now let's say I don't want a box just around each separate item in here, but I want it around the whole fun facts thing. That's where I use this div container. So let's make a border. Here, let's choose from here. Which type do we want to make? We've already done dotted. Let's do dash. We haven't done dash yet. So we're going to do dot fun facts container. So we're going to do border style dash. And now we get a big one around everything. And I do want to specify something with CSS. Here are the main parts that make up CSS. First, we have the item. So we can use a class name, or we can use an overall tag, like header 2 or paragraph. But if we want to be more specific, we can use a class name. Then we have brackets, and the brackets specify what's going to apply to this item. So we have a bracket that ends and begins. So if we get rid of this end bracket, then it doesn't work, right? This part will not work because it's becoming part of the all about me paragraph. So we need an end bracket in order to divide up our different aspects. Then after each thing, so first we have an attribute, then we have colons, and then we say what exactly it's going to look like. So border style, that's what we're defining, and that's going to be solid. And then after that, we always have to end it off with a semicolon. That's like your period in this type of coding. That's how you end off the statement. So let's keep going with some different attributes that we have. So after border style, we have font. Now font family changes the font type. So if we look right here, we have different types of fonts that we can use. And these are just a few. There's a lot more different available fonts, but these are fonts that are already preloaded into our program. If we want to load a font that it doesn't already exist, I'm going to go through that at the end of this class when we have more time. But let's get started with just these ones. So right now, if we look at our website, every single thing is in Times New Roman. So let's say I want to change my header and I want to make it, let's make it Georgia, okay? So I'm going to name the item. This one was called .title. I want to be specific. I'm going to name font family, which is how we name the font. We're going to do Georgia serif. And what am I missing? I'm missing a semicolon. Boom. We add the semicolon, and we can tell that this is a different font than when it now. See, let's look at it before. And let's look at it now. It's a different font. Okay. But let's say I want to change all of the fonts in here to, let's pick one. Let's do Garamond. Garamond's my favorite type of font. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do body. And body is everything in here. We're going to change body to font family, Garamond serif. And now the entire font for everything changes. But if I want to change it for a specific group, let's see what happens if we do that. Who wants to guess what might happen? Let's change just everything in the font fact container to font family Times New Roman. See, that will change just the ones in here. So you can override it if you want to change everything, and then you can override it within a specific container. So let's keep going. After we have fonts family, we have colors. So we can change the colors for multiple things. We already talked about font, so we can change the font for the color, we can change it for the border, and we can change it for the background of the entire thing. So there's two ways color can be defined. We talk about on the other side how we can define something. Now we can define it by the name, but there's only a few preloaded names. If we want to get very specific, we want to use hex codes. Now hex codes sound kind of scary, but there's an easy way to find them that we're going to go over soon. So let's go over here to, I want to change the header's title. So we're going to go to, actually I want to change everything in the about me paragraph. We're going to change the color to, my favorite color is yellow, so we're going to do yellow. And boom, everything in here is yellow. But let's change it. Yellow's kind of hard to read, so we're going to change it to something easier to read, which is going to be blue. Okay, so now it's all blue. But let's say I just want to change the border color. So we're going to do border dash color. We're going to change this one to yellow. And boom, the border color changes to yellow. So that's how we can change the colors for one-to-one. Now let me show you how to find hex code. So there is a really great website called Coolers. So we're going to go to Coolers. We're just going to look that up. And here it is. Coolers.co. And this is a really easy way to find hex code numbers. So if we start this generator, we can see all of these really nice colors. So these numbers right here, That's your hex code. So if I copy that number, I can change this text right here, this border color. I don't really like the yellow, to be honest. I'm going to change it to this. And now, hex code doesn't work if we just put the number. If we look at this, this does not work. Not going to do anything. Hex code always needs a pound sign or a hashtag sign if you love social media. Now, if we want to specify it on coolers beyond what's already here, we can go right here. We can look at different shades of one color, or we can press the space bar and it'll show you what's called a palette. And these are colors that go well together. And so if I like this color, I love yellow, as I said earlier, it'll create a palette that goes well with this color. And then you can specify your website colors based off of that palette. And that's a really great tool. So I want everyone to go through on a website and apply these different attributes that we talked about. We talked about border style, font family, and colors, background colors, border colors, and background colors. And that's how you can make a really pretty website. So I want to see what everyone else does with their website if you add some borders. And there's also so many other attributes that exist beyond just font, color, and border. These are just a few. So those are just a few, and as we get more advanced, there's way more that we can use. But just these 3 types can make a really fancy website. So now let's talk about how we can use a font that's not already preloaded in here, like Times New Roman or Georgia or Garamond. Because those are some fonts, but there's still some basic fonts. So we're going to go to Google Fonts. So we go to Google Fonts, and what we see right here is we go to Google Fonts, and all of these fonts exist right here. And so if we like, let's say I love Laura, partially because it rhymes with my name. So I'm going to pick the font I like. So I like this font. I'm going to select this style, and you're going to click links. You're going to click this link. So this is really important. So we click this link, and then we go back to our website right here, to HTML. And in our header, we're going to put it right here. Anywhere you can put it in the header. I prefer to put it right after my style sheet, right before the end of my header. So I put that in right here, and that's going to give you access to this website. So you go over to, let's say I want to change all of the fonts in here. So I delete Garamond, and if we look on the Google Fonts, we see that it has these specific CSS rules that we can use to get the font. So we go back over here, we're going to paste that, and boom, it changes the entire website, except, of course, the fun facts container, because we've overwritten that with Times New Roman, to that font that we chose. So the first thing, you have to make sure that you download this style sheet, because that's where you get access to the link, or to the font, because it's not already preloaded. So because you already have a certain number of tools already preloaded, some certain colors and some certain fonts. But you can always go beyond those tools and look at these different fonts that exist. And the website is fonts.google.com. And you can download any of these fonts that don't already exist, that are not already loaded in. So pick your favorite font, make your website that font, and have fun with it. You can just change up the fonts. And then you can also change up the font size. So the way that you do that is you go to, I'm going to go just to the font facts container so we can see the comparison. You go font size. And the way you do this is you pick a number. So I'm going to go with 25. And you end it with PX, 25PX. And PX stands for pixels. So there's different things we can do. We can change the fonts. We can change the font size, we can change the font colors. And those are the tools we already have. We also have borders, we can change the border style, and we can change the border color. And then of course we can change the background color. And all we do there is we just go to the body if we want to change the entire website's background color. We go background color, and we're going to make this. Let's go for my coolers and we'll figure something out. I like this nice black shadow, something nice and soft. So you copy that hex. And you're going to go hashtag, paste it out. Now the entire back is that. Let's say I just want to highlight the all about me. We're going to take this out And we're gonna put it just behind the All About Me. And boom, just that area, the background color is that. So go play around with this website, and we're gonna have a really pretty website. Use your favorite colors, try to use coolers to find a nice palette of pretty colors that work well together. And let's see what you end up creating. Thank you all!